You electric car buyers can be a demanding lot. Sure, there are plenty of small, cute, nippy EVs out there, but some people want a zero emissions car that can do it all. Fast, fun to drive, quick to charge, long range, practical, plus with a bit of off-roading and towing ability thrown in there for good measure. Now, Porsche reckon they've come up with something that ticks every one of those boxes and then some. This is it, the Taycan Cross Turismo, or in layman's terms, the Taycan Estate. Now, you're probably already familiar with the Taycan, but if not, the short version is that it's probably one of the best electric cars you can buy. A sporty four-door coupe with scintillating handling and sharp looks, plus some impressive range and charging numbers. It is a bit of a squeeze in the back and it's not exactly overflowing with luggage space, so you can see why there would be a demand for a more practical version. To create the Cross Turismo, Porsche has extended the four-door Taycan's roofline, giving it a hatchback tailgate and increased the size of the boot. Unlike the four-door, you can't get an entry-level rear-drive version of the Cross Turismo, but apart from that, a full lineup of 4, 4S, Turbo and Turbo S is on offer. All of them get the larger of 2 Taycan batteries as standard, which translates to official driving ranges from around 240 to around 280 miles. They all have that ultra-rapid charging capability the Taycan has become known for too. So a 20-minute top-up to 80% battery is possible if you can find a fast enough charging point. And they're all pretty powerful. Performance ranges from just plain quick to ridiculously fast, depending on exactly how much you can fork out. We'll take a detailed look at all the facts and figures in a bit, but before we do, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so we can let you know every time one of these reviews goes live. So let's talk about styling. Creating a more practical estate version of a sleek four-door coupe can be a tricky challenge for a car designer, but we reckon Porsche has done a pretty good job. Disagree? Let us know what you think in the comments, but to our eyes, we think it looks neat, elegant, well proportioned and athletic from all angles. To help it tackle tougher roads, it rides higher than the standard Taycan, and it can be made to look even more different with this off-road design package that's been fitted to our car. It is a £1,400 optional extra, but gets you these rugged looking plastic trims around the wheel arches and sills, as well as skid plates at the front and rear. Ruggedly handsome or trying too hard to look tough? We'll let you decide. Our test car is a 4S, which is one up from the entry-level 4 model, and even that starts at a hefty £81,500. For that, you get 19-inch alloys, part leather 8-way adjustable seats, and LED headlights. The 4S kicks off at just over £88,000, adding adaptive suspension to the mix. The Turbo gets you more power for nearly £118,000, while the range-topping Turbo S offers even sharper handling and even more speed, but starts at more than £140,000. Buying a Porsche is all about optional extras though, and this car has been fitted with over 20 grand's worth, including surround sound stereo, this passenger side screen, heated steering wheel, 14-way adjustable seats, and this panoramic glass sunroof. And even if you don't pay extra for screens, you still get plenty of them thrown in as standard. We really love this curved edge on the driver's display, but not so keen on the climate controls being on yet another screen down here. As always, we prefer physical buttons and dials for the climate controls as they're much easier to adjust by feel when you're driving. But not many other cars come close to the Taycan for quality. Everything feels incredibly plush, solid and well screwed together. In fact, there's not much difference whatsoever between the Cross Turismo and the standard Taycan up front, but it is meant to be more spacious in the rear, so let's hop in there and check it out. Well, the news is good on the headroom front. Taller passengers are at risk of brushing their head on the ceiling in the regular Taycan, so the higher roofline definitely makes a big difference. The wheelbase is the same length in here as on the regular Taycan, so leg and foot room is a bit tight. Our car has this optional extra central rear seat, but it's so small that it's basically useless. So you're probably better off sticking with the standard 4-seat configuration. Overall, the Cross Turismo is a bit more spacious than the regular Taycan, but the Tesla Model X is still the champion if you're looking for a properly spacious premium electric car. As with the 4-door, the amount of luggage capacity varies depending on the exact model you go for. The 4 and 4S, like we have here, can take 446 litres, but if you go for the super quick Turbo or Turbo S, there's only 405 litres on offer. Either way, it's about 40 odd litres more than the 4-door equivalent. What you can do with the Cross Turismo, of course, is drop down the rear seats to take larger items. That gives you around 1200 litres to play with, which is a seriously impressive amount of room for something as quick and fun to drive as this car is. Yes, I said quick and fun to drive. They're not the same thing. While many electric cars are often good at the quick, they can sometimes trip up when it comes to the fun. Not so the Taycan though. We've already raved about how good the coupe is, and I'm delighted to tell you that it's equally the case with the Cross Turismo. So in the quick department, even the cheapest 4 version has 469 horsepower and will do 0 to 62 miles per hour in 5.1 seconds. This 4S version we've got here ups that to 560 horsepower and is a second quicker to the same speed. Now, I'm not sure why you'd want much more power when driving on the road, but if you absolutely must be able to beat almost anything away from the lights, then you've always got the Turbo S version that have a staggering 750 horsepower to play with. The Cross Turismo rides a tiny bit higher than the standard Taycan, but it still stays incredibly sharp, flat, composed, no matter how quickly you fling it into a corner. There's plenty of clever technology like rear wheel steering and torque vectoring on the options list to give you that last bit of precision and agility. But really, they're just the icing on the cake, because fundamentally this is a brilliant car to drive as it is. Are there any real downsides to the Taycan Cross Turismo then? If I'm honest, I'm struggling to find any. Okay, so it's not as spacious as a big SUV, but there are plenty of people for whom this would be a more than sufficient family car. Yes, it's extremely expensive, especially when you start ticking those option boxes, but if you can afford it, it's well worth the money. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off for another drive. Head to DrivingElectric.com for the latest electric car advice, news and reviews, and make sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Before you go, make sure you subscribe and don't forget to click the bell icon to be notified when the next video goes live.